Good to see you. Abora boy, this is Ulu Fakola Day of Idinkai Fa Temple. Peace to everybody in on the Facebook and the YouTube live feed and the Instagram feed. Abora boy, how's everybody? How is everyone? All right.
Aboru boye gbogbo awo aboru boye ẹ̀yin babaláwo èèyàn ìbọrù boye.
Abora boy, this is Olu Fakola David Inka Ifa Temple. Good morning to you all. We're so thankful for you all to join us today. So we want to begin with morning prayers. Mojuba Ọlọ́run, Mojuba Ẹlẹ́dàá, Mojuba Olódùmarè, Mojuba Bobo Romale, Mojuba Bobo Imale, Mojuba Bobo Egun Tembile Olódùmarè, Mojuba Miss Mother Dear Lucy Dennis Murray, Mojuba Darsall, Mojuba Base Messina, Mojuba Fidenos, Mojuba Clifford Downs Watkins, Mojuba Dahlia, Mojuba Zion, Mojuba Nago, Mojuba Clifford Holmes, Mojuba Clifford Watkins, Mojuba Jenny Dunn, Mojuba Katie Bradley, Mojuba Skip Bradley, Mojuba James O'Bricks, Mojuba Benino Chino, Wamville Mill, No Block, Dennis, Agustin Mill, Mojuba Bobo. Ed Yogbe. He who hears people's pleas and separate pleas. He who hears people's pleas and proves pleas. He who talks to people and ensure that the talk is completely absorbed. He who hears people's pleas and separate pleas in the name of Vipa. He who hears people's pleas and proves pleas in the name of Shodar. He who talks to people and ensure that the talk is completely absorbed is the name of Oishani. Oishani, you the person amongst human beings. Person amongst one cannot fail to impress him. Strike frogs on some rainfall. Bullfrogs on some downpour. It is whatever the Ake Reju poem tells earth or that accepts. Whatever the big rat tells earth or that accepts. All what I tell you, if I please accept them and approve them. Or to show gratitude upon gratitude is the of our gratitude. To display benevolence upon benevolence is the of our benevolence. Whoever does not show gratitude for yesterday's benevolence, such a person will not receive today's gratuity. These were the declarations of Ifa to the foreigner Malay. I'm going to marry your boy, daughter Rushubuji. These were also declarations we filed to a woman. I'm going to marry your boy, daughter of Yushubuchi. I'm grateful I see Michael Tuti. I'm grateful for yesterday's favor. I'll see you today for Tuti. Oh, Turete, we're very grateful. Ashe. Awa dupe. Awa bure. Awa dupe. Awa bure. Adupe. Ano. Awa bure. Tunebo. Olódùmarè, àwa dúpẹ́, àwa bùrẹ́, àwa dúpẹ́ o, àwa bùrẹ́, àdúpẹ́ àná, àwa bùrẹ́ tùnẹ́bọ̀ orí ẹni, àwa dúpẹ́, àwa bùrẹ́, àwa dúpẹ́ o, àwa bùrẹ́. Adúpẹ́ àná àwòbòrè tó níbò ìrúmọlẹ̀ àwa dúpẹ́ àwa bòrè àwa dúpẹ́ o àwa bòrè adúpẹ́ àná àwòbòrè tó níbò lẹ́gùn lọ́rìṣà àṣẹ Mojúbà Ọlọ́run Mojúbà Ẹlẹ́dàá. Mojuba Olódùmarè, Mojuba Bobo Romale, Mojuba Bobo Imale, Mojuba Bobo Egun Tembile Olódùmarè, Mojuba Shungode, Mojuba Gode, Mojuba Fragramas, Mojuba Tua, Mojuba Flores, Mojuba Palau Corriente, Mojuba Felipe Zalwet, Mojuba Gunjobi, Mojuba Mieye, Mojuba Shamola, Mojuba Shalanko, Mojuba Mitonade, Mojuba Shuli, Mojuba Shamola. Ifa, we call on you. On Odu, Ifa, that is Eroso Tutu. Please Please forgive us pounding down without soup being very difficult to consume. These were the declarations we filed to a tutu, the child of our Beneregum. He was full of bad character, used bad attitude that prevented him from entering T5's domain. Now come to solicit on behalf of Tutu. We've come to beg on behalf of Tutu. Father, please be patient, overlook this provocation. Those who beg on behalf of Tutu. Orumla by saying, those who beg on behalf of Tutu, those who solicit on behalf of Tutu. How many children does Ifa have that he would cast them out? Those who beg on behalf of Tutu. Orumla by saying, those who beg on behalf of Tutu, those who solicit on behalf of Tutu. How many children does Ifa have that he would cast them out? Those who beg on behalf of Tutu. Ifa, we call on Ogbe Lara. Rumla says, time to sleep. I echoed it's time to sleep. When the day dawned, I met Rumla in the 16th room, where he covered his head with a flowing gown full of life. He was wearing a dress full of bloodstains. He was snoring heavily. They told him that delegate from his aside arrived. Rumla inquired what the delegate had brought. They told him they brought 2 rats swift and running, 2 fish racing and swimming, 2 birds swift in flight, and 2 goats with big livers. Rumla said that is not enough to wake him up. I admit my ignorance, please educate me. Montuna Karaba, I hide myself in your bosom and survive. Montuna Karaba, the dog hang masquerade beats, I graduate repeatedly. The dog hang masquerade beats, I graduate repeatedly to perform rituals because of children. You are the leaders, we are the followers, these are the ones who show the followers wisdom. Aruna told them to get alligator pepper, to get colona, to get bitter colona, to get alcohol. The Akapo got the alligator pepper, got the colona, the bitter colona, and got the alcohol. That is right, as now that he is fully awake. Arumla, when you're fully awake, please look at me with eyes of compassion. It is with eyes of compassion, the heavenly stars, you look at the stars below. Arumla, when you're fully awake, please look at me with eyes of hope. 1, 2. Secure a good spouse. If such good eyes, my spouse is using look at me with. Arumla, when you're fully awake, please look at me with eyes of hope. 1, 2. Bear many children. If such good eyes, a child should use and look at well-decorated plate. Be for long, not too far, join us in the midst of all ire and life. I share. Before we ask at this time that you will continue to ward off all death, ward off all sickness, cases, controversy, ward off fights, litigation, losses, outright fights, witchcraft, negative forces from us. If I recall on the Oduifa Oshatura, tiny other feet of Tubu, stripe of a chameleon is not big enough to be his headgear. Had it been enough to be his headgear, I would have taken it home and adorned my head with it. These we five decorations to Aruela when going on a spiritual mission to Jebel. We call on locals being sent pay money. Call on the salt tiller and make her rich. We call on Aruela with respect in the Jebelin. Oshe Aruela is a good award. Oshe Tura. I kick in back inside. The abstract shop against the Tricasify for Rumla when he sleep Ibana, chef from a little. If no one is wealthy, surely be wealthy. I kick in Bagisa in the mouth of an owl. Zatibana she in the mouth of an owl. If no fish have joy, surely have joy. I kick in Bagisa in the mouth of an owl. Zatibana she in the mouth of an owl. If no fish have peace, surely have peace. I kick in Bagisa in the mouth of an owl. Zatibana she in the mouth of an owl. If no fish have victory, surely have victory. I kick in Bagisa in the mouth of an owl. Zatibana she in the mouth of an owl. Talk Essie. Maybe so, surely shall it be. Ashe. Ashe Orisha lẹ́nu mi o. Ashe Orisha lẹ́nu mi. Gbogbo tí mo bá màmá wí o. Ìrúnmọlẹ̀ ó bà. Ifá ó bà o. Ashe Orisha lẹ́nu mi. Bí mo dúró tí mo súre. Bí mo bẹ̀rẹ̀ tí mo súre. Bí mo kúnlẹ̀ tí mo súre. Timo joko, Timo ture, ire Timo su ori tibo. Now, let us put our hands on our ori. Our ori is our good luck charm. Ori eni larure eni o. Ori eni larure eni. Mojulo mi ufawa mori. Ori eni larure eni. Sure. Boborecha su Ifá ó bá Ọlọ́run àti bàṣáájú Ifá ó bá Ọlọ́run ó ṣe àrú ìlà Ifá ti bọ́. All of them are in the divinities. We have given praise, we've given thanks, we've asked for forgiveness, we've asked for the things that we need. At this time, we ask that you would continue to ward off death, ward off sickness, ward off cases, ward off controversy, ward off fights, ward off litigation, all challenges, losses. please continue to support us, Olodumare. We ask that today that we will be able to hear a word of good Ifa. Ask that you would support and moving any aspects of my ego out of the way so that we can hear a word from Olodumare. We can hear a word of Ifa. Protect us all, Ifa. Emma Kamimene Amo, Emma Kamimene Ano, Emma Kamimene Adeloku, Samuole, Tori Ifa Alonimi, Ibora Timpanini, Eni Banami, Ahun Ati Ifa Lelejo, Ashe Ifa. Thank you all for tuning in with us today. Once again, thank you all for joining us. I think people on Instagram were saying that they couldn't hear. Can y'all hear? Just let me know if you can hear us now. Hit us with some hearts or something to let us know if you can hear what we're saying. All right. So I'm just waiting on some of the responses from the folks on Instagram. If you all can let me know if you can hear. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. And I can see you. All right. Thank you all so much for tuning in again. And today's discussion sermon is going to be very interesting because this week we're talking about an aspect of our character that I feel oftentimes gets overlooked. We talk about patience. We talk about benevolence. We talk about having good character. But this week, I want to talk about determination, dedication, and hard work. So I am not the best. I'm just a beast. So the goal of this sermon is to awaken the beast inside of you, to awaken that aspect of you that will move and move forward on your destiny. So I want to chant one Ifa from Irete Ogbe. Ifa says, Agbon Maniwa, destiny is like a coconut. Cast Ifa for Orunmila when he woke up and he had nothing to show for his hard work in life. He was advised to offer a bow. He complied. If we have wealth, we will have something worthwhile to show for being on earth. Agbon Maniwa, Ifa, please let me have something worthwhile to show for being on this earth. If we have a good spouse, it is something worthwhile to refer to our lives being on this earth. Agbon Maniwa, Ifa, please let us have something worthwhile to refer to for being on earth. If we have good children, we'll have something worthwhile to show for our stay here on earth. Agbon Maniwa, Ifa, please let me have something worthwhile to refer to for being on earth. If we have properties and possessions and long life and all array of life, we will have something worthwhile to show for being on earth. Agbon Maniwa, Ifa, please let me have something worthwhile to refer to for being on earth. So this Ifa is very interesting because it says that this was cast for Orunmila when he had nothing to show for his hard work. So that means Orunmila had been working hard in the first place. He had been dedicated, but the unique thought that I come away with is you can be hard work in some foolishness. You can work hard on something that does not suit you. So when you work hard on doing something that is not congruent with your life, with your destiny, oftentimes you have nothing to show for your hard work. So the first point I want to make is we need to do hard work on the thing that suits you. Work hard on the thing that's for you. Me and my wife have been watching this show called Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. And that young lady is working hard, full time, overtime for a relationship with a person that she has absolutely no business with. I'm sure if you've seen the television show, you can identify with what I'm saying. That is a person who has worked hard for something and they have nothing to show for it. Why? Because they're working hard at something that does not suit them. In the Odu Ifa Ejiogbe, Ifa says, do your work. I am not working. This was the Ifa cast for the lazy person who sees work but chooses to remain idle. He who sleeps until the sun is overhead. He who relies on that which is possessed through inheritance exposes himself to suffering. If we do not toil and sweat profusely today, we cannot become wealthy tomorrow. March through the mud. I cannot march through the mud. If we do not march through the mud, our mouths cannot eat good food. These were the declarations of Ifa to the lazy person, he who possesses strong limbs but refuses to work. He who chooses to be idle in the morning, he is only resting for suffering in the evening. Only toiling can support one. Idleness cannot be diverted, cannot bring dividend. Whoever refuses to work, such a person does not deserve to eat. If a lazy person is hungry, please let him die. Dead or alive, a lazy person is a useless person. These are strong words that Ifa is saying here. Ifa is basically telling us if you don't have the desire to work, to struggle for the blessings that you want in life, if you don't have the desire, the energy to fight even for the things that are for you, then you might as well leave this earth. If you have the capability to stand up and work, trudge through the mud, to spend those hard nights up studying, working, toiling, if you have the ability to do that, but you don't do that, what use are you if you can be no use to yourself? In terms of this, Ifa here is referring to a person who works like a beast. Ifa is saying that laziness and idleness are problematic character traits. Those who have the ability to work and choose not to do so, do it or don't do at the expense of their life. I want to take an example of my favorite musician, and that's John Coltrane. John Coltrane was a beast. John Coltrane, tenor saxophone player, he innovated a style of playing he called it sheets of sound. And he also perfected an aspect of playing the horn where they called it circular breathing, where he could hold a note for 10 minutes. And the way that you do this is you inhale while exhaling. So you are giving out a continuous force of air in order to power that horn. And many people said that John Coltrane practiced obsessively. They said that he practiced 25 hours a day. There's 25 hours in a day, but they said that there are 24 hours in a day, but they said that he practiced 25 hours a day. One of his comrades, while on tour with him, said that they were in a hotel, and as he was in the hotel room, he was practicing. And the neighbors in the hotel room were like, oh my goodness, we keep hearing this saxophone noise. And they were complaining. What did John Coltrane do? He merely removed the saxophone from his mouth and continued playing the notes, fingering the saxophone. He was a beast. What are the characteristics of being a beast? John Coltrane assessed himself. He analyzed his weakness. A beast critiques themselves. They analyze themselves and say, okay, I'm weak here. How can I become stronger? I'm strong here. How can I enhance the strength in this area of my life? To be great, to be a beast, you got to have examples. You have to have folks that you think are beasts as well. They are great as well. And then you want to be among them. You got to work hard to be amongst those beasts as well. Alice Coltrane, John Coltrane's wife, once said that he would practice a single note for 10 hours. One time she said that he was practicing so long on one note, she felt that he had stopped playing. She went in the room and found him asleep with the horn in his mouth. John Coltrane was a beast. To be a beast, you also must have goals. Where do you want to go? Where do you want to take this? How do you want to show up in your life with your destiny? If your destiny is your goal, then attaining it is the process that will make you the best, that will make you a beast. Let's look at another beast. Rest in peace to Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant coined the phrase Mamba mentality. And when asked, what does the Mamba mentality mean? He said, trying to get better every day. So when we think about this aspect of trying to get better every day, I want to analyze what are the characteristics of a Mamba. The Mamba is fast. The Mamba is deadly. The Mamba is one of the most venomous snakes on the planet. And when it is threatened, it is very aggressive. The Mamba is a different kind of beast. When we think about that aspect of the Mamba, there aren't too many snakes that actually chase you. There are not too many snakes that, most snakes, when you approach them, they'll go the other way. Some snakes will chase you. Some snakes will chase after you. What does this mean? Because they know something, they have a different kind of mentality. When we think about this Mamba mentality that Kobe Bryant exhibited, many of his colleagues, one of the coaches, I believe, or commentators, I believe, his name was Celestin. He once wrote in the 1999-2000 season, Kobe Bryant broke his wrist, and he felt like since Bryant broke his wrist, he felt like he could get into the practice area before Kobe Bryant, because Bryant was notorious for showing up to practice 2 hours early. So Kobe Bryant lived 30 minutes from the practice facility. And when he broke his wrist, the coaches came in and they thought that they would have beaten Kobe to the court. And when they arrived, they found Bryant in a full sweat, cast on his right arm, dribbling with his left. Kobe Bryant was a different kind of beast. Many people say that he would wake up, as I said before, 2 hours early and already be in a sweat and ready to go before practice already started. Shaq used to say that Kobe would sometimes practice without a ball. Can you imagine envisioning yourself practicing without a ball in order to be the best? Thinking of these things, it makes me think about what Ifa says in the Odu Ogberete. Ifa says, child, if you want to study Ifa, concentrate on your studies. Child, if you want to concentrate on Ifa proceeds, go ahead and do so. The child who studies Ifa, but who insists that he will never use it to benefit an elder, he will never be taught those Ifa stanzas that will distinguish a competent Awo from a mediocre one. These were Ifa's declarations to Akiri Tojole, he who goes from house to house, the first child of Okanjua, avarice or greed. He was advised to offer Ebo. He complied. I am not interested in sharing money. What that means is making money ain't my priority. Please teach me good Ifa. If I do not die young, I will succeed. I will become wealthy. Here, Ifa is saying that money is merely a resource. Don't focus on the money. Focus on the destiny. Focus on the fulfillment of your destiny, and the money will come. But also, Ifa is saying here that in order to be a good Ifa student, you got to be dedicated. You can't be on and off. You have to concentrate and focus on your study. You have to be memorizing verses consistently. And in this regard, Ifa is saying that as an Ifa practitioner, as an Ifa devotee, we have to be devoted to Ifa and devoted to good teachers. But alongside that, Ifa is saying that we must submit ourselves. We must practice complete submission to the process. When you think about that, I think about the TV show Kung Fu, where Kwai Chang Caine will be walking up the steps with 2 buckets of water on each side, walking up these log steps. And he had devoted himself to the process of learning Kung Fu. And whatever his teacher said, he would do. When we think of this, that too is the total submission that we have to practice regarding Ifa. We must devote ourselves to the hard work, to the study, and submission to the business of acquiring our destiny. In the Odu Ifa Ogunda Ako, Ogunda Obar, Ifa says, the body of water is flowing towards the sea. The body of water is flowing towards the lagoon. The tiny bat flew, but he did not touch the water, and he did not touch the ceiling. This was Ifa's message for Ibo, who was the Oluo of Isalu Aye. This was the message for Ibo, who was the Oluo of Isalu Orum. He was advised to offer Ebo. Igbo, Ifa, I have become your Igbo slave. The body of water is flowing towards the sea. Igbo, Ifa, I have become your Igbo slave. The body of water is flowing towards the lagoon. Igbo, Ifa, I have become your Igbo slave. The tiny bat flew, but he did not touch the water. Igbo, Ifa, I have become your slave. And he did not touch the ceiling. Igbo, Ifa, I have become your slave. when we hear this verse, I'm sure some folks are like, man, slave, slave, slave. Yes, slave. I have I have completely submitted myself to the hard work that it takes to be great. And part of that means I have become submissive to Ifa. I have become submissive to Olodumare. I have become submissive to the destiny, the potential that has been placed inside of me. That is what Ifa is saying. In this particular verse, it's so powerful. And this is one verse that has particular significance to me because years ago, we underwent a very powerful ritual where that Ifa was chanted. And the whole process and point was for us to put our complete trust in Ifa. That's what that verse is about. Your complete trust, faith, everything in Ifa. So when you put your trust and your faith in that, the understanding is nothing can befall you because you have lined yourself up with that which is infinite. So let's talk about this Ifa verse of when Orunmila himself was being abused in the community and his credibility was questioned. His abilities were threatened. Ifa says in the Odu, Otura pon Otura, Ita jare oro icon, we beseech you. Irele jare oro icon, we plead with you. These were Ifa's declarations to Orunmila when he was doing good deeds in the land of Ife, and it was misconstrued for evil. He was advised to offer Ebo. He complied. Now, Ita jare, Irele jare, let there be peace in Otu Ife. Ita jare, Irele jare, let there be peace in Otu Ife. Ita jare, Irele jare, let the pregnant women have safe delivery. Ita jare, Irele jare, let the barren women receive the blessings of the fruit of their womb. Ita jare, Irele jare. So in this Ifa story, Orunmila was a very powerful Oro priest or worker. And when we think about this, Oro is a, a particular Irumole that is akin to Egungun. It is the older sibling of Egungun. And with this, Orunmila was doing particular rituals with Oro late at night. And you have to do it very late at night because this is a particular divinity that works on bringing the community into harmony and also confounding, conflicting, arresting those who are doing behaviors that are anti-social, that are destructive to the community. Oro is used to banish those forces. So Orunmila would do it very late in the night, under the cloud of darkness. And in the dead of night, he'd perform his Oro rituals and he would be praying very low to Oro to bring about peace to the community, bring about healing to the community. And there were other folks who kind of checked it out and they're like, oh, he's doing dark rituals. He's doing evil in the forest. And then they started to pass these bad rumors around. And the whole community began to think, oh man, Orunmila is out there saying bad things. He's chanting evil messages. He's trying to curse the community in the dead of night. So Orunmila went for Ifa consultation. And the Babalao told Orunmila that the reason people thought that he was doing bad is because they couldn't hear what he was saying. They told Orunmila to continue to do his work, continue to work hard and be dedicated, but also you need to speak up. You need to say your prayers out loud. So in this process, Orunmila continued, and he continued to do his work. And he would go back one night, and then the next night. Part of hard work is dedication. And what also comes with hard work is persecution. Because there'll be times that folks will say that they either don't like what you're doing, they don't agree with what you're doing, they might even be jealous of what you're doing, and they might see the potential of what you are doing and say that I don't want that to happen. I don't want that individual to be the one to receive the accolades for doing great work in the community. There are folks who will put you out there as the bad guy. And in terms of this, Orunmila didn't fight them. He didn't go and confront those individuals and say, well, your mama this and you did that and you said this. No. Ifa said, continue to do good work and exhibit that tenacity, resilience, and dedication. Don't worry about them haters. Don't worry about the ones that lie on you. So then Orunmila went back to it. And at this time, he was doing his oral rituals and he was saying, Ita jare, irele jare, let there be peace in Otu Ife. Ita jare, irele jare, let the pregnant women have safe delivery. Ita jare, irele jare, let the barren women receive the blessings of the fruit of their womb. Ita jare, irele jare, let there be harmony in this community. And people were eavesdropping, their ear hustling. They was like, whoa, 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 somebody is blessing this community. All along, Orunmila was blessing the community. Ifa is saying that when hard work pays off, no one can stand in your way. When the world is able to hear the great things that Orunmila was saying and doing, there was no other way for it to be misconstrued because they heard it for themselves. Hard work pays off. So in terms of this, Orunmila himself, with his hard work, might not have been the quote unquote best, but Orunmila was a beast. Orunmila is a beast. I must be a different kind of beast. When we wake up in the morning, we have to ignore distractions. We have to wake up in the morning and ask ourselves, what kind of day are we going to have? Are we going to think about, well, what's going to happen to me today? Or are we going to be the individuals who wake up and say, I intend to make this happen today. I will make the day great instead of waiting for the day to happen to you. We must toil and sweat and go through the mud and be a different kind of beast. When we think of this, imagine if we applied that same Mamba mentality to our destinies. If we all applied the Mamba mentality, if we applied being a beast to acquiring the great things that were destined for us to have. Everyone has a destiny, but everyone does not attain their destiny. Sometimes it's too easy to give up. Sometimes it's easier to do what everybody else does. If you want the life that is uncommonly remarkable, you must do what everyone else isn't willing to do. Sometimes, in order to heal, you're going to have to taste something bitter. Sometimes, fast food ain't going to be the food that you need to eat on a consistent basis. Sometimes you might need to give up meat to alkalize your body. You have to be a different kind of beast. Dr. Sebi says that he fasted and did juices and herbs for 90 days. And that was how he cured himself of impotence, heart disease, diabetes. You have to be a different kind of beast. You have to do something different from what everybody else is doing. Sometimes, in order to acquire your destiny, it will take late nights. You're going to have to be up when everybody else is asleep. You're going to have to be doing things that everyone else, they don't want to do that. It takes too much work. Memorizing Ifa verses? No, man, I could read it out of book. No, what you have to do this ritual? Nah, man, I'm gonna just go over here and buy it out the store. Sometimes you gotta do what other folks ain't willing to do to be great, because everybody is not great. Sometimes it might take months, it might take years of you doing something uncomfortable. One of my partners, Jafir, he's a MMA fighter, and he says in every one of his Instagram videos, he says, be comfortable being uncomfortable. How else you gonna grow if you keep doing the same thing over and over and over and over again? If you don't do the thing that will tear your spiritual muscles, that will stress them to the point of growth, you cannot grow, you cannot heal. I say, move your faith out of the comfort zone. Mediocrity is merely a choice. As C.T. Fletcher says, if it's one thing I hate, it's an average person. You were not put on this earth to be average. None of y'all were put on this earth just to be average. Just to be like, I'm going to do just enough to get by. I'm going to do just enough. Okay, I'm good. Cool day. Let me go back home and drink some beers and eat fried chicken. You were not put on this earth to be average. You were not given this destiny just to be a regular person. You were not picked to do just enough to get by. We need to be relentless in our pursuit of our destiny, because in our destiny is the key to our greatness. Abora boy. Thank you all so much. I pray that everyone got something rich out of what we said today. And I ask that, many of you would consider, moving into a closer relationship with the work that we do Ifa wise. And what does that mean? That means focus your commitment not only to Ifa, but to yourself. Maybe memorize a verse every week, a month. Because, when we think about this and other religious persuasions, Folks might have their holy text completely memorized. We need to be the same way. There's certain aspects of Ifa that it's not about paying money to get. The reality of it is it's about your own hard work to attain it. And that hard work might require you waking up early in the morning, memorizing, might require you, you know, um, working out. It might require, you know, before everybody gets up, and I'm gonna clean the house and cook some food. I'm gonna make my smoothie. You know, when I wake up in the morning, what do with the first things, some of the first things that I do is I go and I chop garlic, I chop ginger, and I brew that for my morning tea. And then I go make my smoothie, and then maybe clean up some aspects of the kitchen, and then I pray, and then I work out. And all of this is sometimes before 9 a.m. I'm trying to be the best beast that I can. And when we think about this, I'm just saying to us, let's try something different this week. Let's try something different to move ourselves outside of our comfort zone, our spiritual comfort zone, our physical comfort zone, and so on. So, in terms of that, um, those of you who are interested, um, I believe on the 24th of this month, I'll be posting a flyer. We're going to have the makings of men. So every month we have our men's group, and it's happening 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. to help brothers in particular develop. And we'll be also coming with some things to work for the ladies coming soon. Also, on Friday nights, this past Friday, took a break. I have some plans coming up, so I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to work this Friday night class. But every Friday night we have an EFI class. So if you all are interested, please tap in with that. Also, we just had Itarogun. All the messages for Itarogun are posted on the website. So if you are interested in participating with the Itarogun, you can go there. The Abo should be offered. It's probably going to be offered tomorrow if it has not already been done. So those of you who are interested, please tap in. Also, if you like the work that we're doing at Idinka, if you enjoy it, if it is beneficial to you, I ask you to share it. Like and share the things that we're doing with others. Let folks know. Invite folks. We're trying to establish a brick and mortar space. So hopefully we'll be able to locate that within the near future so we can have a space where we all can meet and fellowship together. And also, if you are interested in sending donations, all of those things are available as well. So we thank you for everything. All right. So with that, thank you all so much for tuning in with us, and we look forward to seeing you next in the next 2 weeks. For us, we're doing temple service on the first and third Sundays. So if you can, tune in, tap in, share, and tell a friend. So I want to end with prayer. Olodumare, we thank you for life. We thank you for health. We thank you for strength. We thank you for giving us wisdom and giving us Ifa. Help us so that we will be empowered throughout the next few weeks to continue on, to struggle, to be the greatest that we can be, and be the greatest reflection and representation of you and our destiny. Thank you once again. We love you, and we look forward to seeing you soon. Abora boy. All right, y'all. Enjoy.
Cold hand, sharp pencil, I scribble the stanza as my hands are trembling. Grade 7 made heaven out of words. I began to build a world that only I inhabit. I got a habit of rapping.
Thank you all so much.
I'm just passionate, trying to steer the way while in the dark. Hope I ain't crashing it. Now my little hobby turned to cash now. Thinking about who I'd be if I listen to doubt. Said I'd never do it, but look at me now. Young girl, oh dream, oh soul, oh dear. Plan B, plan well, good luck, no fear. Just wait, I gotta tell you when the time's near. But if I never jump, then I die here. Ain't no ride till you pick up speed. They think courage is all you need. And I don't want me brainwashing on you, G. It took me 19 years to finally start to believe. And it's me, listen. I'm gonna make it in the rain, my shine. All about my money, don't waste my time. Ain't nobody gonna bring me down. I'm on the pain. I'm on to something greater. Ain't nobody gonna take my crown. Okay, this is for the kids with depression. The ones whose parental expectations got them stressing. The ones